We feel so powerful and we are truly very, very powerful. God has blessed us beyond anything we ever thought or dreamed imaginable, possible. The butterflies are everywhere. I keep smelling flowers in the wind. I'm riding my bicycle today. I feel so extraterrestrial, and it's really amazing what we've been through and who we turned out to be. We are the butterfly, we are infinity, we are love, we are eternal, beautiful souls, and we have broken through dimensions of consciousness to be able to awaken and to be here and fully present in our earth vessels as our highest selves. And we're also human in the 3D, living here, experiencing all the blessings all around us. It is so important to pick up a vibration. I feel like that people are not always doing their best to enhance every present given situation, because to be fully present and to be fully aligned to mission, you've got to be high vibrational in the energy that you give out. And there are some in this world who seem so reverse engineered against that like they're, instead of making the world sweeter, they're spewing out trash, they're polluting. They're polluting with their words, they're polluting with their energy and how they treat others and how they treat Mother Earth, to throw your trash, speak trash, emit dark energy into this world. And that is, what we're up against as we are on this healing journey. There are opposing forces who, if they could only raise their vibration and really connect to source, they would understand that they are loved so much more than they treat themselves, than they treat others. And that's sad. I feel sad for people who have been oppressed and treated like trash so much in their lives that they believed that was true. And that they weren't worthy. of more. But I respect to each their own, you know. I just feel like I'm so grateful that I don't drink anymore and that I don't smoke cigarettes, and you know, that I'm careful about what I put into my vessel. I can always make room for improvements, but I've been vegan for, you know, almost 20 years now, and I quit drinking, I quit smoking cigarettes, I really try to avoid taking pharmaceuticals, and I'm mindful about GMOs, and I try to do organic when I can. And I'm not completely anti-drinking, because I still enjoy to drink once in a while, but it's just, since Ascension, it has lost its, you know, I'm definitely not dependent on it anymore for emotional support, because I know that I am better for healing and processing my emotions and traumas through God. Through that, I receive the upgrades. I get to be closer to God, and I don't need there to be a buffer between me and God. I am in love with my Creator. I am blessed, and I am sovereign. I can't vibrate the way that other people do now, but you know, I love that. Still, I really love that for myself, because you know, I feel where they are, and I feel it. I feel it all. You know, I grew up feeling like high vibration was weird, but you know, I was always high vibrational. I just tried to mask it and conceal it. You know, we try to conform to the outer world, not the inner world, and that's the mistake we made in this life, is that we thought we had to fit in, but the truth was we had to go within and to be that. Plus, it was self-protection in a world that was, you know, naturally parasitic on our divine energies. And, you know, the devil has had us marked this whole time. We were targeted and attacked for having royal frequency. I got some black spot on my leg. I gotta try to clean it. I bought the weirdest thing from the store today, and I'm gonna show you because it's hilarious. Or not from the store, I mean, I bought it from a yard sale, because I'm out on my bicycle and everyone's got a yard sale, so I've been going to yard sale and yard sale today. Alright, I couldn't help myself, I couldn't resist, but now I'm in the predicament to where I've got to figure out who to give these to. I got an angel, and she has advice on her. Says, listen to your life, dream bigger, unleash your joy, embrace vulnerability. What is calling you? Love with abandon. Get quiet, just be. Rediscover your passion. Nurture your soul. Allow the blessings to sink in and stay a while. Surround yourself with good people. Honor your intuition. I thought that was super cute. And for $1, I was like, yes, okay, I'll take that. Okay. It's a bear bouquet. And he comes with a little extra bear. It's like pretty cute. So, okay. But it doesn't stop there. No, it gets better. Da da da! It's a bear bouquet! And it is amazing. Look at it. I could not resist. I couldn't pass it up because, I mean, yeah. So, I don't know who to give it to. And I've got a couple bouquets, so I have to find somebody to give it to. And the angel, I really like. I think I have to keep that for myself. But I'm also thinking about a friend of mine, I don't know. We'll see. But so those are my come-ups from the yard sales I went to today. And there was another woman I bought a dress from, but I didn't get it from her yet. So it's pastel, and it's pastel green, and it's floral, and it's like a cute little baby doll dress, and I love it. So I'll have to go back and get it from her. Oh, what a beautiful bird that just flew by. I've been really going through it with God, because what God has been doing is blessing me in multiple dimensions and in ways that I, as a human, never thought was even possible, and yet it's happening, and I know I deserve it. I know that I've been high vibrational, and anchored in to the work. I've done it. I've been receiving the downloads and integrating them and loving myself and nurturing myself and healing myself to my eternal divine remembrance. And I'm in a place where I don't know if I can share that with others and just give them my downloads and give them, everything that I am. But I want you to know that I stayed true to the world, even when the world wasn't true to me. I stayed true to God. And I weathered the storm. And there were a lot of storms. There were a lot of lessons along the way in this incarnation. But, God has held on to me through it. And I understand now that I was always loved and I was always blessed, even through the extremities of the holographic simulation, this video game we're playing. The angels in the sky. And the DNA double helix. Here's some people. Playing some music, probably having some beers. I think that, I really just want my sanctuary. I go through that. I want... It doesn't feel far away. I feel like it's close. I feel like it's already inside me. Like, I don't think God's gonna make me wait much longer. I think that God knows how patient I've been and how much it hurts and how much I want to serve. And heal. It is beautiful. The DNA double helix goes all the way down. It's pretty amazing. I love how the angels just sweep the chemtrails out of the skies too. My heart goes through so many different things because I have loved so many, and I still love, and I've had angels in my life. I've had, friends. I've had so many blessings, and I really just enjoy the high vibrations. And I'm not really signed up for any of the dirty stuff, you know? I've had enough soul contracts with narcissists and, you know, vampires, parasites, backstabbers. I have no interest in doing that ever again. You know, I've had more than my share of that and I'm done. So I really am somebody who is protected in my energy. I've done enough healing for the collective, for Mother Earth, for humanity's ascension. I've done the inner work, and I've risen to levels that, you know, it's undeniable to anyone who has any perception of dimensions is that we are our eternal selves. And there's so much more happening in higher dimensions than 3D can comprehend, and we've got to awaken to this so that we can get out of the matrix, out of the soul siphoning grip of the devil, because our energy, our power is truly ours, and we can call it all back to us and not feed the parasitic system. That's how we win. That is how we win. And, you know, we have to free our souls and do the inner work, but then after that, we become the conscious creators of our hologram, and we realize that the weight of our energy is powerful, and we don't need to, you know, we just have to spend our energy wisely. That is currency, that is power. So I'm really feeling like I want to stop feeding the beast, and I don't want to shop at Walmart. I don't want to, I haven't paid taxes since 2018, and, you know, I haven't made any, you know, either, but it's like, I am too awakened to want to feed the parasitic system. You know, that is oppressing people. That is slave energy that they are running on. And if we are spending our money there and paying for, you know, any energy to them out of convenience, it's siphoning from, you know, what we could be giving our energy to is God. You know, real healing and Mother Gaia and, you know, love. That we could really turn up the vibrational frequency on this planet if we all found our higher vibrational frequency with God, and we built the inner world and that connection to the divine, to our angels and to our ancestors, to our spirit teams. I went a little bit, you know, I know this is happening in divine timing, but I feel like, you know, the more that I really wanted to push things and make them happen quicker that maybe I wasn't fully ready yet, and that, you know, I slowed myself down in the process of trying to move forward. There's always, you know, if we're not fully healed and we're not fully ready for the power that we're stepping into, we'll have to repeat something and go back over, and, you know, until everything is up, you know, in the quantum. All of our chords and all of our energies are fully, you know, solidified and not fragmented. That we're not stalling ourselves in certain areas and then, you know, accelerating in others. That we're in total alignment and flow. So there are things, you know, and blockages that I've had too, where I felt every bit in my heart that I wanted to fully come out. There was still something that was keeping my throat chakra from speaking into words the love that was awakening inside of me, and the love that I am. So, you know, it's felt like a struggle to communicate, because I have to be a translator from God. I have to take in these downloads and then, you know, filter them, integrate them, and then speak them through my throat chakra as they come in through all my other chakras. You know, it's not easy to channel, and, you know, but we're learning, and we're learning really quickly at that. I understand why God has had, you know, me in different phases of this metamorphosis, you know, where I've needed the time and the solitude to connect within and to understand the gifts that I have always had, you know, but that I didn't really know that I had and fully explore before I was awakened. So I know I'm wearing my bra at the park, but my shirt was sweaty, so I had to hang it out on my bike to dry. Really, God has pretty much healed me beyond having shame for having a body and being a woman. And, you know, getting the sun on your skin is important. And I think that's another reason why they don't want women to, you know, be topless at the beach. But yeah, people in 3D still have real issues about that stuff. I think definitely people should cover up their private parts, but I don't know if breasts are private parts. You know, men have tits, and, you know, breastfeeding your child is beautiful. I think breasts are beautiful, and I think that that's okay to have breasts, and to get sun on your nipples. I think that is desirable. God, I would love to get some sun on my nipples. I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, God, it's been a while. I keep going back to my garden. I keep going back to, like, you know, I need my sacred land and my beautiful sanctuary, my garden, a place where I can truly just be me, be high vibrational, have my wind chimes, my bells, my singing bowls, and you know, I gotta get some more singing bowls. And just live in abundance with Mother Earth, making things out of nature, and you know, making potions, growing herbs, making medicine, partaking in it, doing sound baths and cacao ceremonies, bringing in other awakened, beautiful souls to come hang out, enjoy our sanctuary, you know, just come vibrate, share some love, and continue to vibrate where God calls us to vibrate. You know, all is love, and love is free. Love is free. It's like, I see all the pieces to this puzzle in my life and what's going to unfold and where I'm at now, and I realize, you know, that sanctuary was always the prize, you know, it was always me trying to find the garden. And you know, it's biblical, because I am infinity. I am all past, present, future consciousness embodied into the human form. It's, you know, the beginning, and, you know, Adam, Eve being banished from the garden, and my soul journey here on earth trying to find the garden and, you know, manifest my soul family sanctuary. And you know, the wicked witches along the way, and the gaslighting, and the narcissists, and the spiritual attacks, all the crazy stuff, the humiliation rituals. We experienced some really, really dark stuff. And, you know, the more we really think about it after parting ways with certain individuals, is that they were much darker than we perceived at the time. It was a real profound experience in ways that I was not expecting, but I know that through my ascension journey and my gifts as a healer is that I had to go through darkness to really truly embody my light. And there were some dark spirits along the way, there were. And you know, I have knowledge of good and evil. I have experienced the full spectrum of the earth experience. You know, as my highest self, I've and that's another reason why I'm so protected, and why I've been very protective of my energy especially since Oklahoma and the horrible, nasty, evil things that happened to me there. It was such an eye-opening experience for me because I see into it multi-dimensionally. It's not just in the 3D. You know, I realize that the entity of Satan is deeply methodical against God's chosen. And we need to get these conversations out there. I was talking to my husband about that earlier, because, there are so many beautiful souls out there who don't know what they've gone through. And they've gone through hell, and they're traumatized. And they may need some help healing through that. Not that God isn't working on them and that their spirit team isn't working on them, but ultimately it's us who has to decide if we're going to plug into our healing or not. Many don't know how to heal, or they only suppress. They'll drink alcohol, they'll take pills, they'll do things that don't help heal the problem. They just mask the symptoms, or mess them up so that they are poisoned beyond healing. They built a world that was created to separate us from God. So they didn't want us to know healing. They didn't want us to know the struggles that we endured. And they don't want us to find that, to find our connection with our Creator, to find our connection to Mother Earth and her love and her healing. And all the natural medicines and organic, holistic healing that is available for us. They wanted us to never heal and to continue suffering and going through all of this soul torture, carry on the generational curses and remain toxic and unhealed so that we can be controlled by the devil and create more pain and more suffering and more traumas in the world, because we never heal what's within. It's so evil, and I'm so tired of it. I know I'm not alone in that. I know there's a lot of souls out there who've healed more than their share for the collective, and they have beautiful hearts to have worked the high level of healing that they've worked. And they deserve to be treated better than they've been treated. And, we really do. It's been a lot, for sure. But we have a sanctuary within. We have a sanctuary with God, and that is the most important sanctuary there is. So, we stay connected to that, and we will manifest our sanctuary in the outer world in no time. I'm certain of it. So I don't feel worried anymore. I just, I don't feel the anxiety that I once felt. I know that God's already answered it for me. Otherwise, I wouldn't want it so badly, so deeply. Because I know once I have a place, I have my nest, my high vibrational nest in my garden, and I'll be able to do Infinity Rising on so many different channels, and we'll have an art studio, a kitchen, high vibrational vegan food. I've always wanted to really get into raw vegan cooking, and I think that by having my own kitchen and things, that I'll be able to do that, and to really create a beautiful mission for myself and other awakened angels who are high vibrational. We'll have swings and wind chimes and burn sage, but of course carefully and responsibly. We don't want forest fires or any of that. We'll have bonfires, cacao ceremonies, prayers, affirmations, yoga, meditations with the moon cycles, and sure, women will align our cycles very quickly with each other, and work that alchemy and that healing together as divine feminine goddesses. And we can forge the land and learn about nature and about all the blessings that Gaia has, and it is so fun to love one another and to be a blessing on this earth, and to be an angel of God. And when we get together, we amplify those blessings so much. We do. With every angel I've met and every beautiful soul I've crossed paths with, we teach each other things that we remember forever. I've known so many beautiful souls, and their spirit lives on through me. And when I get to meet other angels and beautiful souls in the future, I pass on part of that soul to the next. And that really is the power of love. That is the power of divine healing, is that we are eternal in our love, and we're constantly giving it. We're constantly in that pulse, in that vibration. And this transcends all physical, all matter, is that love is the universal energy. Love is always moving and manifesting and growing and amplifying and elevating, expanding, evolving. It was so much for me when I had my awakening. I went pretty crazy, because I'm like, how do I figure this out? Because God laid a big one on me. God showed me my soul mission, and why I've survived all the crazy things I've survived. And I really was determined to do some good in the world, but I didn't really want credit for it. I didn't want to be seen for it. I would deal with that if I had to. It's like when I took my canvassing job, I was dead set on having a job where I could maybe make a living and make a difference in the world through that. And so though I didn't like being so extroverted, it was something that I did because I believed that it was important for me to do it. And I can be very extroverted, and I can be a butterfly, but there are days where I just want to cocoon myself. And I think that was kind of hard for me to be on the front lines and be such a sensitive empath at the same time. But also at that time in my life, I was carrying some things that were still very painful and unhealed, and I was in a relationship that I wasn't fully, something was wrong there, and I wasn't really sure what to do. I'm just watching the butterfly over there. So, what I was saying was, God is taking us on some heavy ones. It was a lot for me to really take in the full soul plan and soul mission, the divine blueprint that God sent me for my life and what we were here and are here to accomplish. And I knew that I had to give my all to God. I knew I had to give it all to Ascension, because for me to be able to accomplish such a high soul mission, I needed to be my highest self. I needed to break beyond the barriers of my previous level of consciousness, and I had to expand to something that was scary and new to me, but it was the only thing that was true in this world. It was the only thing that really made sense. So God has been transforming me and showing me, how beautiful my soul is, and this alchemy has been unfolding within me. And we've transcended fear, we've transcended lack, everything. We realize that the truth beyond the veil, beyond the physical, is the great love and precision that God has put into master crafting our wings. That we were intricately crafted and sculpted and precisely, intricately carved, and with such precision and care to make us. We are the perfect weapons of God. We were created to go through the fire and then to reverse all the weapons that were formed against us through our energy, through our awakening, through our remembering, is that God's power within us, and every weapon formed against us did not prosper. It did not prosper. That nothing could stop God from awakening within us, and that we are loved and we are favored, we are blessed, we are holy, we are sacred. We have the codes to freedom in our DNA, to new earth, and in our hearts. We are alive, we are fully present as our highest selves, and we are living and vibrating in a frequency of love at all times. You know, it wouldn't be the greatest story ever written if it weren't for the misfortune parts of it. You know, the whole being an alien and awakening in this world, and then, you know, finding yourself homeless, and, you know, going through all of these attacks by the devil. And, you know, I was attacked by a gang. I've been gang attacked probably more than oh, I don't want to say how many times, but I'd really have to think about it. But I'm thinking of probably at least 5 right now. It's like, the devil finds my light very triggering. This world was inverted against the divine, the matrix. It's like a computer program. It's encoded behind. And that's why healing is so important, is because God's chosen are not safe with those who are operating in a frequency of unhealed demons and fear, lack, jealousy, envy. The demons in them cannot control themselves in our divine frequency, so they project all over us. And yeah, the path of a chosen one. But through that, we've broken ourselves free from that construct, and we know what it is. We know the control that the devil has over people. You know, we know that it's not personal, and it has nothing to do with us, and it has everything to do with them. I was telling my friend Ron, he's my friend at the YMCA that I talked to. You know, he's a retired man. He just turned 66 yesterday. I was talking to him, it was his birthday. And Spirit's moving through me right now. I'll go back to that. Have to breathe. Have to breathe more. I feel like I can't do everything. Sometimes I feel like I want to be a perfectionist at Infinity Rising. I want to do my total best to polish all of the edges and, to edit my videos so that, when things come up or I get distracted or I lose train of thought or something, that I can, fix that. So the good stuff comes out, and that, we are in a place where we got our stuff together. We're running a tight game. We've got, But then I'm like, well, does that subtract from my authenticity? And then I'm like, I don't think so. But I can't be the editor and, the creator and the, I've got such a balance in my life. I've got, and I'm giving from the overflow. I'm always giving no matter what. And I am, God is pouring into my vessel, and I am sharing from the overpour, and speaking my downloads and the energies that I'm transmuting and channeling into. We're guided to help in so many different ways, but we're also human, and it's a balance. We are balancing very intense energies, and it can be draining, and it can be really fulfilling at the same time. I love seeing my wedding ring sparkle in the sun. I love my husband, and it hasn't been an easy first year of marriage, and I knew getting married to someone when I'm going through ascension and everything, right now but you love who you love, and I fell in love with Kevin, and it wasn't for money, it wasn't for anything, except for love. And obviously it wasn't for money, we're I was okay with the fact that, we can have humble beginnings, but we can grow our empire together and, create the free world through our love and through our blessings, but he is the man, and, he is responsible to be provider and protector in the earth realm. So, he works, and, we are both working. He's working his job at Amazon, and we're living in an RV in his mother's driveway. And this is not our permanent destination, and God, that would suck if it was, but also, we're still grateful and we're still humbled by the blessings that we have. We're still really, really blessed for what we do have. We have God. We have, a bed to sleep in, and we stayed warm through the winter, and through our propane, and we got air conditioning in the summer. Beautiful monarch flying right over me right now. They're everywhere today. It's amazing. And he's the one to do it with. He's the one I have chosen, to be my husband, to marry, and he's gifted, and I know that he is. And we met on land, and we have, really, we fell in love with each other, and because we're both vibrating in love with Mother Earth. And I guess this first year of marriage needed to be a test for us, and I get that, because we've really kind of tested things out to see how much we actually want to be with each other, and I think that really it comes down to, that we really do love each other. And life isn't easy. It's not easy, but marriage isn't easy. But you choose the one that you really want to heal with, and we help each other to grow, and we trigger each other to do that, at times. And I think that he, as well as I, both need to watch our mouths sometimes, when we but it's hard for me, because I've come so far in my healing too, and that God won't let me stay with someone who dishonors me or disrespects me. It is a big one. If the devil attacks me through you, then it's like I need to feel safe. My nervous system needs to feel safe in your presence, and my sensitivity to the energies and the vibrations and the entities that people try to suppress. My sensitivity is very enhanced, and I can feel things. I can feel energies. But I'm still with him, so he's doing okay. He's doing good. He's come a long way from when we met, and I know that he loves me. I know that he has done a lot for me. He's gone vegan for me. He quit smoking for me, and that he's really trying. And I am grateful for him for all of his efforts, and because of his efforts, I continue to rise in my efforts, and I want to show him that I honor him and that I love him and that I appreciate him for trying. It hasn't been easy for me awakening, and then I'm working and devoting myself so much to God and ascension. But that I loved him enough to really try to make it work. It's pretty amazing. And it's like, I don't know if it will or if it won't, but I know that God is the number one love of my life. And I pray that Kevin and I will fully have the promised land that we deserve. For we are both really, really good people who love God. And we love nature. We love Mother Earth and healing and each other. So, he's got my back, and while the masculine plays the short game, the feminine is energetically free to run the long game. And that's what I'm doing with Infinity Rising. That is, I am able to focus on my true soul mission because he has got my back in the 3D. And that's everything I've been devoting my energy to, is God's highest plan. Healing for all, sanctuary for God's people, chosen ones, to be high vibrational in, to be in environments where they can truly be their spiritual selves and live and share from the abundance that is overflowing with God, with the divine. And we can live in healing and oneness with the animals, with the trees, with all of nature. I have such a crystal clear vision of this manifestation. It's more to me than just a dream. It is my soul mission. It is everything. And I don't want just anyone to have access to that, especially, it's a sanctuary. It is a soul mission. It is truly sacred. And I've been really wanting to find the right people to do it with. And I know that my husband, Kevin, is the right person to do it with. That's why I chose him. And that's why God had us meet. He is so gifted and he is so talented, and not in the ways of, not in the conventional ways of the Matrix, but in the artistic sense, in the he's truly wonderful. And I've met many angels in my life who are blessed souls and gifted, and they are shining the light and creating a better world through everything that they do, just by being who they are. I really love so many. And gosh, it would be wonderful to have a place where we can all get together and be high vibrational, to share the healing and to create a tribe, a community for us to really come up with a better way of living, of healing, of life, rather than, putting kids through the indoctrination system and, schools that are siphoning the gifts and natural blessings and divine light out of children, and trying to structure their brains to being slaves to a system that is parasitic on their energy, that will suck their souls and keep them in scarcity and lack until the day they die, and then leave behind debt so their future generations will be enslaved and in debt themselves as well. If we really, really took back our power and focused together collectively on New Earth, we could build something incredible. We could really do it. I have a platform, and I know that if I talk about these things and speak them, that they will manifest eventually. And we're doing the work with God. We're serving humanity to the highest of our abilities, and we're working with the blessings that we have and doing the best with what we have. We need to continue to grow in our abundance and to prosper in our blessings so that we can do more to help others. But, we need to grow. And in order to really expand our mission, we need to have some land. We need to have a place to build New Earth. And, I know that we're doing something, we're building the foundation to it now by doing the light work, by, branching out different communities in TikTok world or in YouTubeville. It's all coming. We really got to unify our armies of angels, bring together beautiful souls who want to build it. And it's all manifesting, and it's all coming, and God's doing it. I am always thinking of ways that I can expand more, to speak more, to But you know, I'm can only move so fast. I've got a balance that I'm trying to keep up with in my life as well. So I'm leaning into soul mission, but I'm really waiting for that abundance to feed back. You know, I need for there to be funding for us to have this said land in place. So, you know, I'm continuing to do the light work. I'm continuing to speak and to be me. You know, that's all I can do. And doing the best I can with what I have. But the room for growth is infinite. And I'm already there. I'm already there. I'm already infinity. So it feels like the dam is about to burst. We're having our breakthrough in the 3D. We've already done the work in spirit realm, and we freed our eternal souls. The love that is inside of us wants to heal the world, and is healing the world, and will heal the world. And we're going to break through in the 3D and do that. I'm going to check and see if the restrooms are open here. And keep going about my day. But yeah, I just felt like I should check in with you guys, because you know, it's always coming in now, and I am in flow with it. So sometimes I just have to be flow state and to share with you what comes up, what comes through. I don't know if there's anything else they want me to tell you before we go. We can well, yeah, they do want me to remind you that it is us that fixes this, you know, this situation that we're in, as, you know, the earth is in between places right now. It's split into two, where the dimensional divide has happened, and there's 3D and then there's new earth. But we are the bridge between the two. We are the conduits of the divine. We are the rainbow warriors for new earth. We are God's messengers, and that we've got to choose our side. We can't, you know, be riding the fence on this any longer. We've got to go all in on new earth and to work together and unify our missions. And this is important. This is very important, because we are creating our reality. We are the chosen ones, and we need to create new earth. So that being said, let's do this. Let's do this. I'm here. I'm serving humanity every day. I want to grow. I want to help as many souls as I can. And, you know, I have this undying, unbreakable will within me to do good in this world. There is a reason why God has me here and has me awakened, and I am here to to be a vessel for the Most High, and to help lead and carry this new earth mission into the physical. Infinity Rising is an unstoppable force. It is a blessing from God, from all my angels, all my spirit guides, my highest self, everyone, and we're here to bring it forward. So support Infinity Rising, support leaders for New Earth, ambassadors for a galactic Earth where we are all living in high vibration and sovereignty and peace, and we are empowering each other to really truly be authentically in our power, because God has appointed us to be here. We are awakened. We know our calling. We know our mission. We know the tactics and tricks the devil's used to keep us down in the past, and the devil can't continue to cast curses on us and try to block our money flow and to keep us in scarcity and lack. We are too abundant in God and in light to be stuck there. So help us and help the mission of light, your soul family. We are here and we are ready to do great good in this world. Help us to get the land, to have the resources, to build our missions for freedom and for New Earth. We love you. Thank you in advance. Links are all below in the description. God bless you. 1, 2, 3 on the counter on that note. Bye. Love you. Bye.